I'm super excited, number one, because this thing is just continuing to move forward in a great way. And I really believe it's all about the people, starting with our head coach and what he represents. And the camaraderie of the staff has been an amazing thing, and our players see that, and they respond to it. And they know when we're on the same page, and we're always on the same page. So that's a big thing. But just my confidence level in this offense is unbelievable. I think that it showed last year. Obviously it helps with the talent that we have, and I had to coach a quarterback. But pay tribute to Jeff Scott and Tony Elliott, who've done a great job of developing great game plans and making great calls on the field to help our players succeed. And so all of us in that offensive room are just so excited about not only the success that we've had, but just building on that success and continuing with that with our offense.
What do you feel like you learned the most last year and all that success?
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things as a coach that I learned was just being able to really, really dive in with the players and the relationships. And, we became so close as a quarterback unit. And I think that's something that I really wanted to work on. I've always been pretty close with my quarterbacks, but I think that's just that is really the key part of our success is the relationships that the coaches have with our players. And these kids know that how much we care about them and that we're going to do anything for them, and I think that makes a huge difference.
Can you talk about Kelly Bryant and how far he's come in the last year?
Yeah, he's doing a great job. I can't say enough about that kid, just how excited I am, number one, to coach him. It's one thing to have a kid that has talent, and then it's another thing to have a kid that has talent and the want-to factor. And Kelly has both of those. Kelly has such a high ceiling potential, and he really wants to work hard at it. And that makes it exciting for me because he's not just going through the motions, he's working at it. And for him, the biggest thing for him is to continue to get the big picture. And, a year ago, he was just starting off, and now he's progressed each month. He's just gotten more and more comfortable with that big picture and understanding not just the offense but the defense and then the reaction to all those things. And he's shown me throughout spring that he has improved in that area. He still needs to improve. Deshaun's way up here in his understanding that big picture and just playing fast and those sort of things. And Kelly is in that mode right now of getting to that point, but he still needs to work on that and just so that he can see things happen before they do. And that's hard to do. That takes a lot of time, and he's only been here for a little over a year now, a year and a half, and got plenty of potential, like I said, plenty of time to continue to progress.
Has he matured more as a passer from a mental standpoint or physical?
Absolutely. As a passer, there's no doubt about it. When he came in here, we knew he could run. He has so much talent athletically. And for him to work on his craft as a quarterback has been the goal for him. And he's worked on that, each and every day and has definitely improved.
The camp reps, obviously you know very well what Deshaun can do.
Yeah.
How do you plan to split those reps for your backup?
Yeah, that's a great question. Number one, Deshaun still has to get his reps to get into obviously playing shape, and then most importantly to get in sync with his offense, his guys. And they've been working out hard over the summer, so that's all part of it as well. But he'll definitely get his reps. Early on in camp, though, we don't want to overdo it because it is a long season, hopefully a real long season, like last year. But with the backup guys, Nick and Kelly are guys that are going to be equal as far as reps. They both are, doing a great job, number one, but they both are going to get the next amount of reps. And then Tucker, obviously, and Tucker has had some setbacks. Tucker is had a couple practices and then had a setback. If you remember last preseason, he didn't even get to practice in the preseason and missed the first handful of games too. So, his deal is going to be consistent, staying healthy. but he'll get reps, and then Zarek's going to have a shot too. He's a guy that is very intriguing. A ton of talent. So in order for him to improve with the knowledge aspect, he's got to get reps. It's all about the experience. So, I'm going to have to juggle it around and make sure, certain guys get different reps here and there, but they're all going to have their opportunity. But I foresee, Kelly and Nick getting the majority of the 2 reps.
When would you like? Is there an ideal time when you'd like to have that number 2 answer?
Yeah, I know everybody wants to know who's the number 2 guy, and just being upfront and honest, it's up in the air right now. I'd love for one of those guys to, really take the lead and say, hey, this is definitely the guy in all situations. This is the guy we can depend on in all situations. And both of them have their attributes that we like, but neither of them have really stepped into that role of I'm definitely the number 2 guy, which isn't a bad thing. They're continuing to compete, and what's comforting for me and for our staff is this was a very similar situation a year ago. Those 2 were kind of the 2 guys as the backup. Well, now we're a year later, so they both had some experience, not a ton, but definitely experience and a lot of growth in the last year. So it's very comforting compared to a year ago because of that. We feel a lot more confident in them being able to take over this offense.
How has the stability on the offensive coaching staff, how has that played a role during this offseason?
Yeah, it's big. You look around the country and you see staffs with their turnover, and there's not turnover here at Clemson. I'm the newest member of the full-time staff, and I've been here for a year and a half now, and it's just a great place. And I think that the continuity that we have as an offensive staff, it's hard to find. One of those reasons being 4 of the 5 of us are all graduates at Clemson, and it goes deeper. It cuts deeper into us as far as just what we believe and just believing in Clemson. And so our camaraderie has been awesome, and our players see that, and I think it goes a long way.
How has that camaraderie kind of manifested on game days?
Yeah, it's been really good. Coming into this situation when I came on board a year and a half ago, and Coach Sweeney announcing the co-coordinators with Jeff and Tony, everybody's probably wondering how that's going to work out. Very smooth. Very smooth. And Jeff and Tony have both done a great job of managing the situations, whether it be game prep and just getting ready for our weekly preparation of who we're playing and who our opponent is, to game day. Just the communication process and who's in charge of what and who knows when to say what. And so it's been a very smooth transition.
Could you expand a little bit on how much of an advantage it is when you and Tony and Jeff can sit down with a recruit and say, we played here, now we're coming back here to coach, coming back here to live, raise our families, that type of thing?
Well, you said it. That's the advantage is when these kids that we're recruiting can sit down with us, whether it's here at Clemson or in their living rooms, and they know that we've been there. We've walked the walk. We've done all those things that they're about to go through. So all of us as a coaching staff, we're just going to be honest with them, and our experiences, Jeff, Tony, myself, Coach Pierman, and a lot of other guys on our staff, we had such a great experience here. So it's a glowing, type of an attitude about this place. And these prospects see that in us. Every time they sit down with us, every time they're around us, they see that. And then when we bring them on campus, it's just the same effect with everybody else. Even guys that haven't played here. And you look at all the coaches that have stayed and have multiple opportunities other places. Well, that says a lot for Coach Sweeney and what he's established and what he represents and the culture that he has brought forth here.
You described that transition coordinator thing as smooth. Was there ever a point where there were some bugs that had to be worked out? Did you ever feel like, because you've been on several different staffs, did you feel like, maybe this